Diodes. Diodes. I'm going to call it Diodes. I just like to think that's what it's called. I mean, not exactly, you know, the high-profile company that I was hoping for, but still looks like a fairly large company, 3 billion market cap. Don't see that every day. Well, I mean, you do see it every day, but you know what I mean. Wow, look at this 5-year chart. Holy, stocks go up, Batman. Barely even dipped when COVID happened. Shrugged it off like it was nothing. This is a Chad of a stock. I kind of like it already. Well, I mean, do I? Because it's had a very questionable last 6 months. You can argue it's gone nowhere in 6 months. You can argue it's gone nowhere since January. Prior to January, though, it was doing well. So why has it been what looks like fairly embattled these last few months? Especially given these earnings. These look absolutely amazing. Especially, and I wonder what this big jump in estimates is about. It's like, okay, 51 to 59 to 70 to 79, you know, those are fairly expected estimate increases and earnings increases that you would expect from a company which apparently I believe it looks like is still kind of in its growing stages maybe, or rather maybe it's coming out of COVID stages, I'm not too sure. But why suddenly this huge jump for what's expected in quarter 2? I really hope that it can meet those. Otherwise, well, you know what? I'm actually not sure. But quarterly earnings looks good. Revenue is going up. Earnings are going up. In tandem with them, although not at a... Actually, no, it's at a fairly... It's roughly the same clip, it looks like. Yearly chart shows... Similar? Yearly chart shows similar, aside from 2020, but we all know what happened in 2020. I think this is easily explainable, given what happened last year. I don't think I gotta explain. What do they do? Designs, manufactures, supplies. Application-specific standard products in the discrete logic and analog mixed-signal semiconductor markets. Alright, yeah, I thought this was going to get to semiconductors eventually. Is there still a shortage on those? That's kind of all I heard anybody talking about for a couple months. I don't know if that's really still a thing anymore. Wait, they make lights also? What's this about? Is it a solid growth stock? Yes, I would like to know, Zax. Thank you. What does it mean for the stock? No, I'm not reading that article, because Zax is going to point to the fact that it gave it a strong buy, and they're like going to be like, hey, look, it's a strong buy, because Zax has a thing for circular logic. Automotive exterior illumination. 3-channel linear LED driver. Targeted at simplifying rear lamp cluster. What? Rear lamp clusters? Literally have no idea what it's talking about. How many Mi's does it take to screw in a car light? Apparently a lot, because I have no idea what the hell car lights are made out of. Or how they work. Investors seek growth stocks to capital task of finding cutting edge. Blah blah blah. EPS growth rate for should actually focus on the projected growth. EPS expected to grow 70%. Yeah, that's weird. That is a huge jump in expected earnings. I didn't see any bad news. The giant leap in the expected estimates for next quarter can be a blessing and a curse. It can be a blessing in the fact that just the fact that people think it can meet that kind of revenues or earnings rather is kind of crazy and a good sign for the future of the company overall. But also, it's a very high bar to meet, which if those estimates are based on getting a little bit too overzealous with the numbers, then it can be rough if it turns out to not meet it and potentially not meet it by a lot. But aside from that, the only thing that I didn't like was the chart, but everything else looked pretty good. I didn't see any negative news or anything to suggest a negative or not a negative. Well, actually, yeah, negative outlook or anything. Anything that can negatively impact the company. Again, earnings can be a bit of a double-edged sword, but the only thing I didn't like was the chart. But that's kind of way down in my logic as to why I don't like something. So you know what? I'm willing to give this a buy. I am willing to give this a buy with the hopes that it can not only meet that incredible earnings estimate rise, but also at the same time still knock it out of the park. Which I see, given the rate that the earnings has gone up and met those expectations that continue to go up, I see no obvious reason why it can't. But then again, it's gonna be a pretty tall order for them to meet that. But I'm willing to bet that they can by making a buy call here.